and welcome to episode 5 of my crochet podcast. If you're new here, my name's Sam. I live in Norwich in the east of England, and currently it's a very miserable day out there. It's raining and best day to record a podcast, really. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I really do appreciate that. So in this podcast, I will be following my typical format. So I'll be covering what I've been up to, any finished items that I've done, crochet or knitting, any works in progress, also known as whips, any new patterns that I've designed, currently on the slow front, but you know, we'll get there. Any new yarn purchases and plans with those purchases, and upcoming plans and events that's yarn or craft related. So what have I been up to? As I said in my last podcast episode, I am going to be recording a podcast every 2 weeks. And it was only 2 weeks ago that I recorded the last podcast. As per usual, I've been just working my usual day job or night job, because I do work nights in the week. But apart from work, yeah, I've just been crocheting, housework, all the usual boring things. I have recently started a weekly crafting vlog on my channel. If you haven't already seen that video, I will link it down below for you to check out, or just go on my channel and you'll see it on there as one of the latest videos. So a few weeks ago was when I last recorded my podcast, and that particular evening I did meet up with my friend Ellie for our craft group, and since then we have decided to include more people in the group. Tonight is actually our first craft group, including myself and Ellie. There's 7 of us in total. I didn't expect to have that many for the first group. However, I'm really looking forward to it. When I first met Ellie at the Blue Fern Yarns afternoon tea last year, I did say to her, I want to sort of create a craft group, you know, and I can't find one. I want to find one, or maybe start one. So here we are a few months later, and we've both created this craft group together. So if you are local to the Norwich area and you're looking for a craft group, feel free to get in contact and we'll see how our numbers are looking. I won't put too many details on here at the moment. I don't think the intention is to grow the group massively. Tonight is the first night that we're actually holding the craft group. Before, it's just been myself and Ellie, you know, just a catch up really. We'll see how tonight goes and see how the numbers are, because there's 7 of us. That's a good handful and a bit, you know. We'll see how it goes, I guess. But yeah, really looking forward to that tonight, and that is something that we are going to run every 2 weeks, because there's a couple of Tuesdays that I'm going to miss. The next one is next week, so every Tuesday at 7:30. As I said, contact me for details of the venue. There's not a lot else that I've really been up to apart from finishing off whips, which I've done one. So that leads on to my finished items, and I'm really happy to tell you that I've finished my little boy's jumper. So in a previous podcast, I mentioned that I'd started this last year. I think it was last summer. Yeah, I was nearly finished, very nearly finished, and I put it down. I think I know why I put it down, because I needed to measure it on my little boy to make sure the sleeve was long enough, and I just never got around to it. But it's finished. So here's the jumper. I think when I last showed you, it was kind of almost finished. I had one cuff to do on one arm, but I had the whole of one sleeve to do, or to finish it off. So yeah, this is what it looks like. So this pattern is by MJ's Off the Hook Designs, and this is the Athabasca Falls pullover. She's got a YouTube tutorial for it, and I think she labels it as like an easy pullover pattern or something like that. This was a very simple raglan construction. The first time I've ever made a crochet garment. Obviously this is for my little boy, it's not for myself, but I'm currently working on a crochet garment for myself, which I will show you. Focusing on this, this was made using paint box Aran weight yarn. So this is 100% acrylic. As I said in a previous podcast, I want to be more mindful of the fibres that I purchase But because this is for my little boy, I think acrylic is the best way to go, just because children can be very messy and acrylic's very easy to wash, and they also grow very quickly as well. Anyway, I digress. As you can see in the sleeve, it kind of tapers a little bit. In every other row, there's like a decrease to shape the sleeve. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the look of that. It looks okay on my son, but I much prefer the look of this sleeve actually. This was the first sleeve I did. When I did this sleeve, it was straight from working the body of the jumper. And because I put it down for so long, I think I lost track of what I did basically. I think I slightly modified this sleeve to make it that little bit longer. I finished this cuff and I really like the look of this one, but it's the other one that I don't like the look of. It's just a bit wider. Hang on, let me just compare the two. That's totally obvious. So I took this to craft group and I was working on finishing it then, which I did. I finished it, but I first used a hook size too big for the cuff, and then when I was finished I compared the two. I said to my friend Ellie, oh, this is huge. You know, this is completely different size. And then she said, oh, did you use a different hook size? And I was like, ah, that's exactly what I've done. So I frogged everything on this cuff and I started again. However, it's still big. I used exactly the same hook size as I did for this one. Yeah, I just don't understand how it's so different. I might potentially have just a few more stitches on this side. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It fits my little boy, and when he's got it on, it doesn't look that noticeable, to be honest. But yeah, I just love the colour. As you know, it's, as I said, a raglan construction. Most of these stitches are double crochet, which is the easiest stitch with crochet, if I'm honest. Yeah, you've got the nice ribbing at the bottom and it fits him lovely, which I was dreading, if I'm honest, because I started it last summer. It had been almost a year since I started it, and also when I picked up the pattern again, I wasn't quite sure on which size I'd made. I literally made no notes or anything, but to prevent that from happening again, I've now got a knitting and crochet journal. So I got this for Christmas or my birthday. No, I got it for Christmas. And yeah, so far I've put one project in there, which I will show you in a moment. But yeah, it's great because it's got all this information on here. You literally have the project, the name of it, you know, any notes about the project, when you started it, you know, the size and everything like that. So I think this is really going to help me to stay on track with, you know, what sizes I'm making, what yarn I'm using, what hook size. That is all very important. If you're working on whips, you put it down. When you pick it up again, you need to know these specific details. So I'm going to put it all in this trusty notebook to keep myself on track. But yeah, this is my first finished item, and I will actually include a picture here of my son wearing it, just so you can see how it's fitting. And you can't really notice on the sleeves that they're like totally different on the cuffs. Oh, and before I forget, I did show this last time, but I had made a hat to match the jumper as well. This is my pattern. I've said this before, but yeah, it matches very nicely. I used a chunky one for this one, again using paint box, and this was Aran weight. So that was really my only finished item. I have got my shawl that I designed, and I think I finished with it. I just need to add buttons. But yeah, this is what I showed last time. I just need to weave in a few ends and then add some buttons so that when I wrap it round, I can attach it. This pattern is now a tutorial on my channel. If you like these stitches and you want to make them up into your own shawl or triangle scarf, go ahead. Let me know how you get on. This is an Aran weight yarn. Personally, I think I should stick with DK or fingering weight yarn, just because this is really thick and chunky because of these type of stitches. But yeah, I think I've finished with this one. I just need to, as I said, add a few buttons, weave in some ends. So that comes onto my works in progress, also known as whips. Okay, so the first work in progress I have to show you is my chunky knitted scarf. So this is my first knit pattern. Yeah, it's not looking very good because I crumpled it up in the bag, so let's just straighten that out a little bit. I'm using 7mm circular knitting needles, and this is how far I've got. I've been very fussy with this. I must have frogged this about 5 times, and it's only now that I'm kind of happy with it. I just wish it was just a tad bit wider, only a little bit. But yeah, I'm really happy with the pattern. It's just a simple knit one, purl one to create this ribbed effect. Yeah, a bit more to do, quite a bit more, because I do want this quite a long scarf to at least wrap around a couple of times. One thing I must admit, as a newbie knitter, the knit one, purl one is very tedious indeed. So I'm an English style knitter. It's working up very slow, if I'm honest. I know I've frogged it many times. I have actually put this down for a while because I'm currently working on another project that I want to finish first. Maybe I should learn how to knit continental style because it does look a lot quicker, although it looks very fiddly. I don't know. I'll just stick to one style for the moment and just see how I get on. That is how far I've got to at the moment with my knitted scarf. My next work in progress is my Battenberg blanket, and I have not done any more progress on that, so there's no point holding it up to show you because it's exactly the same as it was in my last podcast episode. So that leads on to my next work in progress, which is the main reason I've not done anything else. I am doing a Magnus cardigan. As I mentioned in my weekly crafting vlog, I'm working on the Magnus cardigan. That is one of the crochet alongs for East Anglian Yarn Festival, and I've chosen the crochet pattern because I'm a crocheter. So it's working up very quickly. Let me show you my progress. So today I did in fact weave in a lot of ends. So I'll show you the progress. How do I show you? This is my progress. So I worked from the ribbing at the bottom, as you can see, and then just worked my way up to a certain point. So this is one of the edges. And then where you can see this split, each panel was then worked from this bottom panel up. So this is the left side, this is the middle, then this is the other side. So basically this will be your front panel. It's very hard to show you. Hang on. Right, so this basically, where this V is the sleeve. When I've eventually weaved in all these ends, this will be seamed at the top with like a simple mattress stitch. So folding that there, this part is the sleeve, and then this is so hard to show you. Oh my goodness. And then where I folded it here is another sleeve. Ah, there you go. So you can see it a little bit better here. Basically, you got 2 panels. I've done the whole of the back panel. It's quite long. So I spent the whole of the morning weaving in all these ends down sides, basically, or no, the fronts. And there was a hell of a lot of ends to weave in. Where you can see it like this, that was the same all the way down. I kid you not. It's a lovely pattern and it's working up quickly, but man, these ends that you have to weave in, because you literally colour change every single row, you've got so many ends to weave in. there must be an easier way. So this is how far I've got. What's left to do on this is basically weave in all these ends around the sleeves and then simply mattress stitch the front panel with the back panel like that, and then do exactly the same with this side. So again, weaving in all these ends and then mattress stitching this top bit together. Yeah, and then onto the sleeves. So I'm currently making one of them. I did start that before I'd had these weaved in. But yeah, I'll show you the progress on the sleeves. Okay, so I've currently got both of the balls attached to this sleeve because, now this is a lot better. Because you're working in the round with the sleeve, you can actually carry the yarn up on the inside. So if I show you this, there we go. So you can see along here where I've been carrying up the yarn. So I haven't been cutting the yarn and then, you know, attaching the new colour every single row. I've literally just carried it up, and honestly, that's a game changer. It started with the cuff. So it's just a simple ribbing as the bottom of the main body. And then from the ribbing, you worked the basically like double crochet clusters. You can see that the sleeve is a lot wider than the cuff. And that's because in the first row, there are some increases, and basically the increases give you that sort of ballooned sleeve look. Very easy, if I'm honest. And I've got two of these to make, so two sleeves. This isn't done yet. Obviously, it's the portion of a sleeve. So yeah, I'll just show you what it is like on. So yeah, that's what it's looking like so far. So it is going to be a little bit of a ballooned sleeve. I don't mind that. I mean, these sleeves that I'm wearing at the moment on this top's quite, not ballooned, but quite baggy. I quite like that. The cuff is fitting really nicely. It's not too tight, not too loose. So yeah, this is what the sleeve is looking like. Obviously, when I've got the seams done up on the top of the cardigan, I'll be able to put that on like a bit of a waistcoat. Yeah, once I've done that, I'll be able to see roughly how it's going to fit. So far, I'm really happy with the sleeves and how they're turning out. As I said, I've got two of these to make, obviously, and this is the first one that I'm starting on. Oh, apologies if I start lisping. Before I started the podcast, I put this numbing cream all over my tongue because my tongue is riddled with like mouth ulcers at the moment. Yeah, it's really annoying. It's something that I have to live with. Yeah, it's nothing that I've shared on this channel before, but I've got an autoimmune disease called lupus. My body just wants to attack itself for no reason. Yeah, that's why I get a lot of mouth ulcers. That's not the worst part of having this disease, but there you go. I consider myself quite happy and healthy considering. There's a lot of people out there who's a lot worse off, so I consider myself very lucky. Anyway, yeah, enough about me. Let's talk about crochet. So yeah, I was just talking about the Magnus cardigan. So this is by Megan Makes Do. She has a YouTube tutorial on how to work certain parts of the pattern up, and the pattern is also free on her blog. Yeah, go check that out if you want to make the cardigan. I will insert a picture here just to show you exactly how the cardigan will look at the end. Obviously not in these colours, but eventually on my podcast you will see that. The next one's only in a couple of weeks, so hopefully I'll have it done by then, and then I can work on new projects. I was very much inspired by Craft House Magic's last podcast episode. That's my friend Ellie. She showed, sorry, I just bit my tongue. She went through 25 patterns that she wants to make in 2025. And she said about the Moonlit Shawl by Sandra Paul of Cherry Heart podcast. It had been mentioned to me before about making that shawl, and I hadn't made it yet. I think that might be a good way to use up some of my really nice merino wool. I believe that pattern uses 2 skeins of DK or 1 skein of 4-ply. So My thinking was, I've got an afternoon tea coming up with Blue Fern Yarns, which I'm going to with Ellie, and Ducky Darlings is the pop-up shop for the event. And my thinking was maybe try and find a 4-ply, because I haven't got any 4-ply in my stash. But yeah, try and find a 4-ply that I can make the moonlit shawl with. Not really using my stash, but almost like adding to it. However, I don't want to use 2 skeins of DK yarn if I can get away with just using 1 skein of 4-ply, because they're exactly the same price for, you know, a skein of 4-ply and a skein of DK. It's just you get a lot more meterage with a 4-ply than you do a DK. You get almost double. Now, to me, I think it would be a lot more cost effective buying a 4-ply skein of yarn rather than using 2 skeins of DK from my stash. Yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think that's a good idea? I do. That was my thinking. I just love watching other people's podcasts, YouTube channels. You know, it really does inspire me to make things for myself. And that's one of the reasons I created a YouTube channel, because I like to share things to inspire, to, you know, get those creative juices flowing. So yeah, it might be something that me and Ellie do together at the craft group. Let me know what you think, Ellie, because yeah, I think that would be good. It's nice to share progress on things. It's nice to compare different colours as well, and just get inspired by that more than anything. So they were all my works in progress. Now for any new patterns. So I'm going to be honest with you, there are no new patterns. I'm still kind of doing the triangle scarf / shawl. I have yet to make it in a DK weight, which was one of my plans to do. However, everything's just gone on the back burner because I've been working on the Magnus cardigan. So I want to get that finished first, and then I'll have a little bit more time to maybe design new patterns or to make patterns that I want to make that is already out there. Next is any new purchases and plans. So I did cover this in my weekly crafting vlog that was released the other day. However, I'll just touch on it briefly, just in case you're not one to watch, you know, my other content, but you only watch the podcasts. I went to my local craft shop the other day, which is called So Simple, and I purchased some circular knitting needles. I wanted a little bit more in my stash so that, you know, when I've got a project in mind for knitting, I've maybe got that size to hand. So the particular pattern that I had in mind was the Sophie shawl. I'm sure many of you have heard of that. She first started with the Sophie scarf, I believe. That's just the cute little knitted scarf basically. But the Sophie shawl is just, you know, a little bit wider, a lot longer. It wraps around in exactly the same way. It's just a little bit bigger. So I haven't purchased the pattern yet. I still need to, but I believe the pattern requires a 5mm circular knitting needle, specifically in the size of 80 centimetres, I think. So I purchased those, and the yarn that I purchased, so I didn't originally purchase this with the Sophie shawl in mind, because I got 6 balls of this. This is the James C. Brett Aztec with alpaca, and it's in Aran weight yarn. So it's in the colour teal, and the composition is 90% acrylic and 10% alpaca, and it does recommend 5mm knitting needles. You get 190 meters / 208 yards. Yeah, I originally got 6 balls of this to either knit or crochet a garment with. However, I did change my plans and I wanted to make a Sophie shawl out of this instead. Obviously, I won't be using all of the balls of wool, but whatever I do have left over, I could potentially make a matching hat with in Aran weight. So I haven't made any Aran weight hats yet. I only use chunky yarn for hats. Oh no, I lie. I have made one hat in Aran weight yarn before, and that was with the first ever skein of yarn that I purchased from Blue Fern Yarns. I actually purchased this skein from the East Anglian Yarn Festival last year. It was in like a blue colour. I'll see if I can insert a picture here. But yeah, that was using one of Shannon's colourways. I can't remember which one, but that was in Aran weight yarn. And it's actually something I don't really see a lot of yarn dyers advertise on their websites. I tend to go for thicker yarns. So obviously DK weight, it's not an overly thick yarn, but it's thicker than 4-ply, for example. But yeah, Aran weight and chunky yarn aren't really sort of yarns that I see on hand dyed yarn websites. I know they have the bases available, but yeah, I don't see it advertised very much. Yeah, maybe it's not cost effective for them. Maybe it's not that popular. I don't know. But yeah, I think I will possibly use 4-ply a little bit more this year because it gives a better drape to certain projects, and also you get more meterage for your money. And also with spring approaching, spring and summer, it would be nice to maybe knit or crochet, you know, some t-shirts, some garments, maybe crochet to begin with, because I haven't crocheted any sort of summer garments. I would mainly focus on t-shirts. I think I have seen a particular designer. She is on YouTube as well. I think I'll get some 4-ply yarn to make some crochet t-shirts with. I'll maybe have to wear like a bit of a strap top underneath, because with crochet, you know, it can create holes or gaps. I think I'll have to wear at least a base layer underneath. But yeah, I am going to give crochet garments a go this year, and potentially in 4-ply. I digressed a little bit. I was talking about this yarn and why I purchased it. How did I get on the topic of buying 4-ply to make crochet t-shirts? Anyway, yeah, I got 6 balls of this from my local craft shop, and my plan is to knit a Sophie shawl. Just need to buy the pattern. And then another thing that I purchased, which I did cover in my weekly craft vlog, was yarn from Aldi. So I bought a selection of baby yarn, which is like chenille, and my plans with these purchases were for baby hats for my Christmas craft fairs, because I do have 2. Do I have 2? I think I booked 2 for the end of the year, and they were the exact same craft fairs that I did last year. So yeah, I got 2 balls of each, of various different colours to make baby hats with. And then I purchased 2 balls of this ombre yarn. Now, I did say in my weekly craft vlog that I was going to pop this through the knitting machine to make knitted beanies with, to create a striped hat. However, I'm on some forums on Facebook, you know, Facebook groups for circular knitting machines, and some people have already tried this yarn in the knitting machine, said it's too thick for the machine, so it doesn't work very well in the machine. So I think I might have to just find another idea with this yarn. Still probably make beanies out of, just, you know, in a different way. I'll just have to crochet or use this for knitting. Who knows, you know, I could potentially make a Sophie shawl out of this as well. Who knows? But it's yarn that I've got in my stash to practice with. It's a cheaper yarn. It was only £1.29 for a ball, you know, 100-gram ball, 175 meters approximately. So because I'm pattern designing this year, I can use this for it. And that also comes on to a few other things that I purchased from Aldi. And I purchased these balls of roving yarn. So I got 3 balls of the pink, 3 balls of the blue. I basically bought these to practice making patterns with. I know I've got a lot of yarn at the moment to practice with making patterns. It's in my stash. I'll get through it. For £1.29 a ball, you know, you can't go wrong. Oh, actually, no, these were £1.99 a ball for the roving yarn. These are really soft as well. Got a bit of a fuzz there. So yeah, I've got plenty of yarn to practice with now for pattern designing. So they were actually my only purchases and the plans that I have with those purchases. I think that was quite good. So hopefully in a couple of weeks for my next podcast, hopefully I will have no purchases, because I do need to rein it in a little bit, because I do have the East Anglian Yarn Festival coming up, as well as the afternoon tea, and yeah, I will be purchasing more yarn then. So I'll probably make that my next purchase. Next in my podcast is any upcoming plans and events. So as I keep mentioning, I do have the afternoon tea event coming up with Blue Fern Yarns, and that is on the 8th of February, so a couple of weeks away now. And also, as I mentioned, myself and my friend Ellie are creating our own craft group. So I won't share the details on here, but I just want to say, if you are local to the Norwich area and you're looking for a local craft group, please get in touch and I can share the details with you. At the moment, we have 7 of us tonight. That includes myself and Ellie, and we will be hosting it every 2 weeks from next week. So the first proper craft group is tonight, which is the 28th of January. And then the next one will be next week, which is the 4th of February. So from the 4th of February, the craft group will be every 2 weeks. So that will be in a local pub from 7:30. And yeah, we will just crochet, knit, natter and drink. You know, doesn't have to be alcoholic. You know, they serve teas and coffees. But yeah, really looking forward to that. And something else I'm looking forward to, which I did mention in my last podcast, is the Lay Family Yarn Retreat. So I said last time that I was going on my own and that I'd have to work out the logistics about getting there, booking the train. Well, I don't have to do that anymore, because my friend Ellie will be joining me as well. So yeah, we will be having a bit of a road trip down to Lay Family Yarn HQ. So Ellie, I will be bringing the snacks. Don't worry about that part. I really like having things to look forward to. I think that's why I've booked so many things this year, because it's just nice having something to look forward to. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you book a holiday, you've got something in the future to look forward to. Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting at here, but yeah, I'm just really excited basically. So the Lay Family Yarn Retreat that we're going to will be in May. That has now sold out. They do sell out very quickly, but I believe they have a few dates left in the November. So yeah, if that's something that interests you, get on their website and have a look. As I said, I think they do have a few more dates in November left, but all the others up until then has sold out. So yeah, I think that's everything. I'm not sure how long this podcast is going to be, because there was a little bit of waffling, so a lot that I can edit out. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far. And as a little bit of a test to see if you've made it this far, leave me a comment down below with a yarn ball and then just a little comment. What are you working on? Let me know. But yeah, it must have that yarn ball emoji at the start, and then yeah, just comment after that. But yeah, it'd just be interesting to find out who actually made it to the end. So yeah, as I said, thank you for watching. So welcome if you're a new subscriber. I have had a few recently, and I was thinking, because I'm quite close to getting to 500 subscribers, I could potentially do a giveaway when I get to 500 as like a little bit of a milestone. So obviously it will be a yarn giveaway. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to be in a chance of winning. So as I said before, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.